And we're going to start this off today with Alex. His topic is going to be the new and innovative tools that can be used to align sales in operations in 2021. So Alex, let's turn it on over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Larry. Innovative tools in aligning sales and operations is probably, people talk about aligning sales and marketing frequently. That's probably a topic in your organization that you have daily. But the topic of sales and operations isn't near as sexy of an alignment conversation to have. It's a age-old conversation in any distribution organization because, well, quite frankly, there's a lot of profitability to be made in aligning your operation with your sales organization and your sales organization with your operation. And so if you go to the next slide, Larry, we were looking at some results. Supply Chain Insights had done a survey. And so just thinking about how profitable or how much profitability is being left on the table because of potential lack of alignment in sales and operations. So they took multiple different studies, they cross-pollinated different data points and identified that the gap between the most aligned sales and operations organizations and the least aligned sales and operations organizations was a 12.6% inventory turn spread, right? So if you have $5 million worth of inventory that you hold in a year, the gap between the bottom of the barrel and the best, the most effective, is ultimately over a $600,000 business issue. You have 10 million, double that number, 20 million, double it again. So it's you get a large yield out of making sure that you're operationally efficient, but theory and execution are obviously two very difficult or two very different ideas. Everyone can come with a strategy. We can sit down and have an executive conversation, but how do we get our organization to actually align? So as Supply Chain Insights went through this analysis, and we'll go to the next slide, Larry, they said, okay, how big is that gap? And as they interviewed over 500 different distribution organizations, and if you're a dealership on this call, your parts department really is no different than a distributorship, right? And so as we talked about sales and marketing, there's obviously a 21% misalignment in most organizations, where that's where the conversation always happens when we talk about departmental misalignment. But if you look at that sales and operations, it's actually where some of the biggest void is inside of distribution organizations. So, okay, if you take a step back, I could get my biggest yield by aligning sales and operations, and B, I likely have some of the biggest gap between these two departments. In this study that they did, 9 out of 10 organizations strategically were trying to solve for sales and operations alignment, but yet only 2 out of 5 thought they effectively did it well. So SalesEye is a sales enablement technology. So what is a sales leader at a sales enablement company? How can they help me with operations? What I don't want to talk about is how SalesEye can specifically help that, but some strategies that we teach our customers and we've seen our customers implement, regardless of your platforms that you have. You could have no technology, but be able to execute the strategy, which I'm going to get into and talk about. So Larry, if you want to jump to the next slide here. It just so happens that SalesEye can help execute on some of this, but if you don't have a technology that can help you execute on this, there's other ways around it, and I'll get into the different departments that can get involved to help with this. So what we believe is that every single one of your clients needs to be assigned to a delivery route, some sort of route number, right? Whether it's you will sign it by route 1 through 300, or you sign it by color, however you want to assign it. Every customer in a B2B world, not in the consumer side, but in the B2B side, every customer needs to be assigned to a route number. Now that process shouldn't take you too long. Many of you on this call likely already have accounts assigned to a route number. But what this allows you to do is segment and identify where a truck's going. And you might have multiple routes, not full routes, going out in a single day. So today we'll have Route 1 and Route 2 and Route 7 running, right? But we know there's 20% of our customers on Route 1 running today, 30% on Route 2, and there's 40% running on Route 7, right? So step one, segment your customer base by route and be able to, segment where are we sending routes today. Step two is understanding well in advance of tomorrow, how full are the trucks that are going out on these routes, right? And this is where profitability, and we talk about the last mile, comes in. You'll never be able to replace the cost of the last mile of your delivery, but can you be more operationally effective in ensuring that those trucks are full? It's just no different than a hotel. The most expensive room in a hotel, an empty room, right? It's the same with your truck. The most expensive truck you have going out this week is your lightest truck, right? That's an expensive truck that's going out. And so that's an operational inefficiency that we see across hundreds of different distribution organizations. Well, how do we solve for that, right? You say, oh, well, you're just going to get your delivery, these are your delivery days and that's the only days you're going to get them. That's one, but that's not being customer centric, right? That's not delivering the best customer experience. So how do you offset some of these challenges while also giving a fantastic customer experience, but also aligning profitability? So the third piece, which is really where the alignment comes in, and we see some of the biggest gaps organizationally, is being able to get someone in your sales organization, and we can get into who that is and how that works, to be able to quickly segment and identify, okay, customers on Route 1. Which customers on Route 1 have yet to buy this week that typically buy every week? Route 1 is going out on Thursday. We have 20% full truck, means we have 80% capacity. Inside sales team, we're calling to fill Route 1 for Thursday. Or, hey, Friday we have a truck going out and we have capacity. Who are our clients who are due to buy a certain product category? Let's call based off their buying behavior. We know that there's a potential that they could maybe pull an order forward a week because we know they're due. Potentially give them a small discount off their freight charge for moving that order forward 2-3 days, business days, in getting product on a truck earlier. So this is just one of many different strategies that we put in place with our client base. I have one specifically out in the East Coast or in the flooring world where it's expensive, heavy product to move. But their inside sales team up on a monitor they can see, their sales leader is also an operations guru. Sales team looks and can see what percentage of those trucks are full and which ones are going out which days. Now the sales team knows, okay, I need to be calling for Route 2 to fill that truck today. So just one of the many ways that we're helping different organizations, or just strategies that are implemented inside of distribution organizations to help with that last mile profitability and aligning sales and operations. So, excited, happy that you guys had me here today. And if there's any questions on some of those different strategies, would be happy to answer any of those questions.